How you like that?
Love it. I love it.
All right, guys. So I guess I'm live. This is my first podcast. My name is Oakley Corbin. I'm the installer and owner of Corbin's Tile Co. You find me on Instagram and all social media. You probably already followed me there if you're seeing me here. This is Anthony Moses with the Floor Masters podcast and Simply Intricate Designs. And he was cool enough to come and hop up on my first podcast. Because this isn't that easy to do. But it's easy to be in the van, so I appreciate you being here with me today, man.
Man, I appreciate you allowing me to be in the van. I'm driving right now, recklessly, just driving in a van.
Right. Man, I don't really know how this is gonna go. This is the first episode, of course, but there's one thing I definitely do enjoy, and that's talking in the van. I missed that for a long time. I've been working on my own for like by myself, installing for like almost 2 years. So I haven't had a lot of that van talk, and being out of the van for so long, I realized that I needed that van talk. Uh, so like here we are, man. In the van, it all comes out. You know what I mean? Me and Anthony been talking lately about some of my own struggles, and it's pretty cool to be able to reach out to somebody in the trade who's probably lived a life, you know, too. So I don't always have to be alone. Uh, And, he's given me some decent advice, from time to time. I got to be on his show as well, earlier this year. That was a nice icebreaker for me getting out into the social media world, so thank you for that. So yeah, man, I'll just kinda give it to you for a second. Maybe you can kinda say, a little bit about yourself, and
So,
we'll
well,
go from there.
just since I got a little podcast experience, we're gonna do a formal introduction. We're in the van. I got my live going too. We're in the van. All right. This is the commute to the job, the job that is 9 times out of 10 a difficult job. And you're on your way to go bust your ass, pretty much. Like this is what we're doing right now. We're driving to go bust our knuckles, to go cut our fingers, to go hurt our knees. And we can talking about whatever we want to because this is the one moment of the day we got some sanity before all hell breaks loose.
Right.
And that does not mean that we don't know what we're doing. That means that it's construction. That things go sideways all of the time. So my question for you, Corbin, is like when did van talk start for you?
Alright, so it's always been kind of a concept on my mind, like, from my first helper. I remember, like, me and him have been homies since like for 15 years, so he's like one of my brothers. And I was wild and reckless when I first got into doing business, man. I was like 23 years old and in the bar like every night. So like so much shit going on in my life all the time. And we would just start talking. Me mostly, I'm just talking. Like what I figured out about myself is I'm a neurodivergent, so I don't shut up. And I'm just yapping, ADHD, OCD, that's my kind of personality, with a little bit of edge, so we just always talking. I'm like, man, people probably would love to listen to this. Like, we are sharing some pretty personal things, some humility. Sometimes we'll talk about like, just the depths of an idea, and in my mind, I'm thinking, people could really learn from this, you know what I mean? Like, this stuff's pretty interesting, like, who thinks about these things, you know? And if you didn't think about them, like, it'd be a blessing if somebody brought them to you, so why don't we go talk about it? And, over the years, it took a while to get to where we are now, but social media really helped me shape the idea of Van Talk because of defeating insecurity.
Mm.
So once I knew that insecurity was kinda like my mission on social media because I'm not, like, the most welcoming dude, and I don't really wanna go in uncomfortable places because I don't like feeling uncomfortable or out of control. I started becoming kind of a voice for those edgier dudes who are tired of not feeling like they can be themselves all the time. And it's like, well, there's other dudes like us, and we just typically end up being alone and don't get to have as much van talk. So when it kind of full circle came back around, I was like, a lot of us tile guys are alone, dude, and we need
Yep.
some van talk for real because these dudes, they lack confidence on social media just the same as I did, uh, because they just don't feel like there's other people really like them. And it's like, no, most of us are pretty similar. And if not, we all got a testimony or story that's pretty interesting enough to share in the van.
Yeah, we're definitely a different breed of people when you're talking about tile setters. I don't know what it is about tile, but we're definitely a group of people. Well, I can say that just for construction as a whole, though. Like it's always it's kind of the people that's got a story. Like they got a story. So yeah, I'm there. I've always I'm not. Well, I ain't gonna say I've always been by myself because I've had situations where I had to ride to work with somebody every day, which it was cool because you know you like you say you got that time to chop it up before work and after work. To be like, man, this was going on in life. You look forward to those moments before you get to work because once you get there, game time. So, but that was years ago for me. So I've been solo for a long time, just not having a whole bunch of people to ride with. I have a helper every here and there, and it's just it's a period of the day that's just like, man, I get to chill out. Like I don't have to front in front of you. Not that you go out in front of people, but I know I ain't getting no judgment from this seat over here. Like like, I know that you're not gonna judge me if I say something out the box.
Right, right. And as soon as you get home, it's like you're not gonna
Back
get
to
that
work.
time.
And
You're
you
gonna
back to
go
work.
straight to dad, straight to dad mode, straight to husband mode,
Yeah, you right
or,
back to work.
whatever you gotta do. I mean, I don't even fully experience that yet because 'cause I'm not to that level of dadding right now, but
Yeah,
I will that's once we get there, we gotta be able to, like in the van is when you shed all that crap, you know what I mean? For real.
yeah,
Like, I had been shedding out on my new helper, like I said, I've been alone for a long time. Same like you said, you've been kind of solo for a while too, help here and there.
yeah,
Never really vibed with my help before, but dude, I'm about to have a mental breakdown in my life right now. I just unloaded everything on my helper, and I'd be damned if it didn't save my life. You know what I mean? I couldn't get nothing done at work. It was you everybody could see it on social media. I've been slacking. I do great work, but until I was able to get some van talk in, man, my whole life was falling apart. I tell you what, I mean, I already hit you up about it the other day. I'm like, man, things are really hard right now.
yeah.
Like, and then he just sat there and soaked it all in for like a whole week. He's only been working for a week. And I'm like, man, how do you feel right now? Like having all this unloaded on you, like, this is why I work alone, you know? Like, dude, he's like, I don't mind it at all. It's probably healthy. I'm like, dude, that's kind of weird response, you
But
know?
what? I kind of just well, it wasn't me unloading on my help because I got a new guy a couple weeks ago. Uh, green. I wanted him as green as possible. So um, before he started, I don't remember. I had been working the entire year by myself. Like my last helper stopped like early in the year. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna take this time to save some money. I'm gonna figure out how I like to do stuff without having to teach somebody, and I'm gonna just work by myself. I'm only gonna take jobs that I can do by myself. So that's what I did for almost all of this year. But before, when I started looking for some help, and then when I finally got them, like I realized I was talking to him, like literally talking to him, like, bro, I forgot how much, like I just needed somebody to be here. Like hard, it's cool tiling this space by yourself to make some profit, but I really do just need somebody in this room with me because I could easily get myself into this hole because I messed up 2 cuts. Damn, I can't mess 2 cuts up. Like
Right.
I just messed one up. Or you cut one piece 7 times. Like this is I'm not in a good place right now. I'm like on this job that I'm on. A couple weeks ago, literally had to go in the other room and pray because I was just like, bro, I'm about to stop. Like I'm about to
Oh,
stop.
you don't even gotta tell me. We just did the same floor twice. Yeah, I got done. I thought I was killing it the other day. Me and him, he's got a weekend. He's doing a really good job. We went and did a landing in about 2 hours on the way to the next job. We get the whole floor laid. We're about on the way out the door at 4 o'clock. We got 2 rows left, and the homeowner comes in and says it's the wrong direction. We laid it the wrong direction. And immediately I said, "No, I didn't. No, I did not. No, I saw this. This is right." I didn't want to admit I was wrong. But, I was like, I did not verify that part of the job. I
Yeah,
was too busy talking about the tub surround. I didn't even question it. I'm like, "This is the way it goes. This is the way every floor is going," That's just nope, sure is not. They came in, that's wrong, and I'm thinking, "No, you're wrong,"
right.
"No, hell no, this is right." No, I had to accept it and realize I just laid a whole bathroom wrong, and we took it all up. Contractor came over, we scraped all them tiles off, washed them. Because we didn't wanna have to buy a new tile, I ain't rich, I'm just a tile
Right.
guy, you know what I mean? Oh, it sucks so bad, I'm like, "I'm a dumbass," you know what I mean? I'm stupid, I can't believe and then it's like, my buddy was like, "Well, at least the homeowner showed up and, we didn't have to, like, pay for all that tile." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." There's little blessings in there, but man, it didn't feel good in the moment, I
But
panicked so
see,
bad.
without him there to say that, there's no telling where you would have took yourself. You'd have been like, bro, you are stupid. Because it's that easy. Like, dog, you realize the possibility of what just happened? What if I had to pay for this? I don't have the money for it. If I don't have the money for it, I'm out of business. Oh, you a lose. Like, you see how far, at least for me, it can go really like bad up here if
Yep,
I'm by myself.
yep,
And people, they'll see the production, they see the nice attitude, it's in them pockets in them corners and the closets around them jams that y'all can't fit in with me. It get bad sometimes. Like
right, right.
it get bad sometimes.
Yeah, it's it's definitely a stressful thing, man, and I'm learning a lot still too, like, I look at guys sometimes and until not having help, you become very complacent with how you do business. It's just like, I wake up, I go to work, I go home. I worked the whole day, it was me the whole time, anything that had to be done, I did. I know it happened, I can keep track of it, I can remember. I was there, you know what I mean? And then, like, when that happened today, it kinda set me in my place. Not only did it help to have, my help there, but it helps to have him there to keep me kind of on my toes, like, I when I spend more time communicating with another person, I'm forced to be more professional because I'm not retaining as much information.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that till today when I this week when I messed up that floor, I felt backed into a corner, and I didn't wanna take responsibility. And I'm like immediately I'm thinking, "Well, how am I gonna keep this from happening again now? Because I'm distracted all the time. I'm talking to this dude all the time now, I'm not thinking about the job 24/7, like, I have more distractions now, so now I'm thinking, "Well, now I gotta get more responsible." Now I got help, I gotta get more responsible. Not only do I gotta get more responsible with how I handle what's happening, on the job site, I gotta get more responsible with how I handle my time. Because like
You
you
know what I
said.
started doing? I started. I bought a dry erase board. Bought a dry erase board, and I walked into the job. I need to get back on it because I fell off halfway through the project because it took so damn long. I brought a dry erase board, and when I got on the job site, I gave myself 5 tasks to do for the day. Find out whatever the top priority is, and write them down. I posted it up somewhere on the wall, and as I done them, scratched them off. If I didn't get all 5, cool. I know I need to start tomorrow. I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. I'm not constantly thinking about every part of the job. I'm just focused on 5 things. That's all I'm doing today. Especially
Right,
if you got somebody there with you, they can be like, "Hey, man, that ain't on the board. Why you talking about that? We ain't doing that today." You can be like,
right,
right, you right. My bad." Because I can get it. I go all over the place.
yep. Hey, no, that's for real. That took me a second, like, "Man, I wonder how well that would benefit me," but, like, with help, and you're like, "'Cause I can get all over the place." I'm like, "Dude, are you talking about me? Because 'Cause I'll be all
That's
over
it.
the place." Be like, "Hey,
I'm
man, go
telling
get
you,
some lunch."
people
And
don't
then
know
I'll turn
this. They
around.
don't understand. Like they don't understand. Like, dude, the it's just like an artist. The most uh elaborate, crazy, professional, strategic, detailed artists be the craziest ones. Because their minds are able to move so fast that they go through 1,000 thoughts in a minute when you just thought about 10.
Right. Yeah, we was talking about that today because 'cause I'm kinda hyper fixated on right now, like, psychology and, I'm just soul searching, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
who ain't. And of course, we have issues in our homes, all of us all do throughout the years, and that makes us look at ourselves and at each other and go, "What the fuck? And why is this happening?" And why does people think of me this way? I started trying to try to just to understand myself a little bit better, try to get some identity or lose some identity, whichever one. Uh, and I came up across this thing that says I'm a what was it? I'm drawing a blank now. But anyway, it just gave me something new to talk about, and as I was talking about it, it just reassured me that I was it's called there's a neurotypical and a neuro something, and basically, I had looked at my help and I'm like, "Dude, I need you to hold me accountable because I will talk to you all day, and I will not do a damn thing."
Yeah.
I'm like, "I need to go into job. I need to quit talking about." Like, we need to be able to set boundaries. Like, I have to set boundaries with you because you are here for me to talk to, so I won't get anything done.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, I was like, I don't know, I'm having a heyday with it for real. I'm like a little kid in a candy shop. I'm like, "Dude, I can't believe you're listening to all this shit I got to talk about."
Though
I really
when you get to that point, they just let you know it's time for a break. Like
Yeah, I know.
not there is no trying to balance at that point because it's just showing you that priority is whatever that stuff is that you're talking about. Like it's that serious that you don't care about work no more. So let's not be at work. Like
Yeah, I know, man,
that's how
and
you know you get to that point. I mean, we push ourselves to get through a project, but like after this, the one that I'm just finishing up right now, all I was looking for was that last day, so I can say, hey, the next 2 weeks after that, my time. I don't care what you want done. I don't care what you're paying.
right,
I'm not doing nothing.
right. I
That's
know.
the thing. I'm
That's
gonna
where
sit
I've been
down.
at.
I'm gonna talk to who I want to talk to. I'm gonna talk about what I want to talk about. I'm gonna get all this on my system. That way, when I get back on the job site, I don't have nothing to think about but this time.
Right.
because I've
That's why I
mentally
hit you up.
broke.
I'm like, "Dude, if I just keep letting this shit stay up here, it's never gonna I wanted so many other people. I'm like, Imma had it so picture perfect in my head how I was gonna start doing these first couple episodes, I was gonna
Yep.
have my helpers come on, it was gonna be way cool, they were gonna sit back and kick back with me. I'm like, "These dudes got lives. They don't even give a shit about this podcast. There's no I can't hold them accountable to be here. Let me hit up a dude that already knows what's going on," you know? And it was like, at the drop of a hat, I'm like, "Damn, this dude already knows." He's like, "You held me accountable today." I'm at 3 o'clock. I'm like, "Dude, I gotta be somewhere I don't wanna be." He's like, "What do you mean you don't wanna be there?" I'm like, "I gotta talk to somebody on live camera for the
Yeah.
first time, but this is my appointment. This is my dream, and I'm scared to go there." He's like, "That don't sound that don't sound right, it's your dream and you're scared to achieve it." I'm like, "Insecurity is a hell of a thing, isn't it?"
That's the average person in the world.
I know.
Like that's the average person in the world. Why you think people can get jobs? They'll love baby dolls, but they be like, no, I'm gonna go be a doctor. Like people scared. They scared to live their dream. And for very good reasons. It's scary, but like it's priceless to do it. Like
It's very liberating, that's for sure.
mentally, like for people like us, you know what I'm saying? Mentally, it's just like this is all I need. I just needed to be able to do what I want to do sometimes.
Right.
It and nothing else.
It, it's definitely been one of the more liberating and freeing things in my life because you don't realize how silly the little things that you go through growing up or even going through getting into the trade. You mean, you might hear dumb shit getting into the trade that makes you pretty insecure, like, a lot of guys like to make stupid little jokes that some dudes don't like, and then after a while, it makes you feel like you're not part of the crew, you know what I mean? It's like, it might develop on the job site that you have the insecurity of why you can't voice out about topics from the job site, you know? But, even more than that, most of us get it from being silenced as a kid or whatever, you know? And I'm like, this is what I like to talk about in the van. I like to see the weird quirks about my helper and go, "Hey, you realize you just did that? And why?" He'd be like, "Well, no, but now that you made me think about it, I guess we can go down that route," you know? And be
Yeah.
like, "Man, it was an insecurity," you know?
I've
You see
always been big on like psychology and stuff, just understanding uh what's going on in people's heads. But what I found out is the average person they don't want to hear because it's too real.
they don't.
It's
They
real.
don't. I do a lot of counseling already, and, when I come in there, I'm always just blah, 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 and then it's a group counseling session, so, the counselor's like, "Man, everybody really don't mind listening to you talk, but they hate you." I'm like, "Why?" Like, "Dude, 'cause you just, like you're very honest, and nobody can be as honest as you. They have a hard time being honest with themselves like that." And then he's like, "And you're very blunt, and you put it how it is. Everyone who brings a problem to the table, you always look at them like, 'That's not even real, and you're just trying to manifest something in your life that is worth excuses.'" And he's like, "Everyone hates you for telling it like it is." And he's like, "What I define you as is a truth seeker." He says, "That's why you can't ever be
There's
content."
it's a friend of mine who- that is very like minded, just like both of us.
Mhm.
I think this is what he told me that we're called empaths.
Yeah,
That empath is just people that are connected to how people feel. Like we just know how to see the feeling in people to say, oh, that wasn't true, or what you said wasn't authentically you. I can see the mask that you put on it, and
right,
it's easy for us to do because it's like I'm just comfortable with my truth. It don't really bother me, and I can see others people's truth without them having to tell me.
right,
And many people don't like that. They're just like, dude, I didn't ask you for that. I didn't ask you to see my soul today, Corbin.
right, right. Man, and I was looking into it in this morning, neurodivergent, that's what it's called, neurodivergent, and what they did with that explanation or that identifying term is they took, consciousness and connect it to nervous system. So when you get passionate and then you start feeling like all that, jitteriness in you, you start getting all that anxiety and you're getting all worked up because you're a passionate person. That's what that neurodivergent person is the connection between the nervous system and the consciousness. I'm like, "Dude, that fits me 100%, dude, 'cause I could burst into a ball of flames, you get me on to the right, and just being hyped up on
Yeah.
the right conversation, so much so that and I was talking to my help about this today, it was like, you ever been in a conversation that you got so worked up about, like you started on something good, it was exciting, but by the end of that topic with that person, there was so much energy in it, you didn't know if it was good or bad anymore? You're like, "I don't know if I like this. There's a lot of energy in here." Like, "Shit."
Yeah.
Might have been something a little bit in there that was a little questionable about what you were talking about, and you're like, "Ah, shit. I don't even know if I like this anymore. I don't know."
Because it comes from something in your past that's tied to an emotion that you experienced, and then that emotion shows up, and it's
Right.
just like, oh damn, that was real right there. Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. That's kinda where my mind's stuck at is with all that shit, and then dude, the dude, it's so bad. It's so bad. We're at Home Depot, okay? And the lady's got the mopping thing, the big machine,
Oh,
right?
the thing that they walk behind.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Okay, well, she's about to turn my direction, and I'm going over there," so I hurry up and get out of her way, walk in front of her. Well, I thought I was doing a favor. I got out of her way. She looked at it as I cut her off, and she stopped and looked at me and was like, made this weird old face, and I'm like, "Okay, perfect time, and I don't have self-control, so here we go. Do you realize what you just did?" And she goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Did you have to stop, make that face so that I knew how you felt?" And she said, "Well, you cut me off." I said, "No, you chose to stop and look at me and acknowledge the path I chose." She said, "No, you cut me off. You're a jerk." I said, "No, you continue to choose to make that your reality and you continue to choose to be upset because you're insecure. I was like, "I don't understand why you're doing this to me, but I didn't deserve all of that hate that you cast my way. Whatever's going on in your life to make you feel the way you do, I'm sorry."
Oh yeah, she probably hated you after that.
Dude, she hated me, dude. Hated me, and I looked back, I said, "Dude," I looked at my helper, I said, "I got a problem.
I got a problem.
I got a problem, dude." I said, "I need to go back there and apologize to that lady," but I was kinda scared to, for real.
See, and you know what? I I used to be like that. I used to feel like it was my responsibility to the world to correct people when they was wrong. Like I literally thought that in my head, like, no, this is what I'm here for.
Yeah, I
So
feel that. I
um
haven't shaken it yet.
yeah, it took me realize, and this now we're gonna get some truth of it. It took like uh my wife blowing up on me one day. I forgot. I'm trying to think of what it was. What did I say? Something. I don't know. I said something. I think I cut her off, and she like lost it, like lost it like never before. And it like made me realize it was like, damn, it really wasn't that important for you to say what you had to say to cut your wife off in a heated situation. Like you could not control yourself. Like it wasn't like this wasn't something that you was just like, no, it's the right thing to do. It's like, no, I have to say this. And then it finally clicked to be like, you can control this because you did not have to say it. Like, you didn't have to say it. I had to check myself to be like, the reason you didn't have to say it is because it wasn't truly helpful. Like you knew it wasn't gonna reach that person. You just had to get it out of you. So it
Right,
was self-centered motivation. It's like
right.
you just had to get it out of you. You didn't really care about that person to say, "Oh, I'm gonna tell you about yourself so you can help." It was like I had to acknowledge that no, that's a lie to myself because you'll present it to yourself to be like, "Oh, I'm trying to be helpful." No, you're not. You're just trying to get whatever that is that energy that's too much for you to handle. You're trying to get it out of you. And then I was just
Right.
like, you know what? We're gonna start controlling this. I do not have to say all that shit that comes up here. I don't have to say it. I could think it, but it does not have to come out of my mouth. I was
Man, you
like, let's try
talking
that. Let's
straight
try that
truth.
first. Let's try that first. Let's listen to the thought. Keep this close, and then see how it goes. What I found was situation didn't change. That situation, Home Depot, I think it keep my mouth closed. Nothing changed. The lady had already made her face. It's done.
Right.
Whether
All
I
I did
say
is
what I
create
say,
content.
whether I say what I say or not, she feels the way she feels. Period. It's too late.
Right.
I can't fix it. So let me
Yeah.
just be like, okay, I'm gonna acknowledge that that probably wasn't the best way. But the only way I kind of was able to control it is I was able to say back to myself. People probably don't think me crazy after this. I was able to say back to myself that I would have done that differently. That's all I had to say. It sums up everything that you would have said to that lady. To myself, I would have done that differently. And I can move on with my life. I don't have to say nothing to you.
Right.
Nothing. I don't have to say nothing to you.
Yeah, I know. I explained it to my homie the other day. I'm like, there is a reason for it. you know, like they're gonna look back at it later and they're gonna think that
Hell no.
guy,
That's a damn
he
lie.
really taught me a
People gonna
lesson.
be like, that dude's stupid. Why did you
Yeah, he's
talk?
gonna be like, oh fuck that guy. We don't care about what he said. You know what I mean?
You're the only one that cares in the situation. If the person didn't ask for it, they're like, would you
He's
stop
like,
talking to me?
when's the last time somebody bullied you and you went home like, thank you?
I'm gonna change my life.
Yeah, I'm gonna change life. That dude bullied me into being a better dude. I'm
Yeah,
like, fuck, dude, you calling me a bully? He's like, that's exactly what you've been.
right.
Exactly what you've been doing, and you need to
Just
quit. I'm like,
wasting time talking to
all right,
people
yeah,
that
you're right.
don't
I'm
really
wasting energy. I'm wasting thought. All that, and all I'm really doing is being a bully. There's no purpose behind that.
care
He's like, well,
whatsoever.
what are you gonna do about it now? Like, well,
That's it.
I guess I'm gonna stop replying to comments with videos, and I guess I'm gonna start turning the other cheek in public.
I don't know. You know what? As far as the video thing goes, I had somebody. This was just last night, but it was a positive thing, and I could see how uh your response to the videos work in your favor because it just keeps it going. Like people keep talking. You can stop after that video and don't say nothing else, and people will just keep commenting and be like, "Oh no, he was wrong. Nah, he was right," and it just keeps going. So in that regard, it works. But then you got those few people that you uh, influence to think that, oh, I thought you were a good guy, but you're not really a good guy. I don't think I like you anymore. I'm out.
Right. Yeah, it definitely became toxic for me at a point. I'm like, you can get well, it seems like TikTok rewards you for posting negative content almost. So if
That's what I'm
you
saying. It's the people. The people keep talking. Like all it
right,
takes is uh a period. It don't even have to make sense. They keep talking in the comments, and TikTok is like, hey, let's set some people up. They got a lot of stuff going on.
yeah, but it eliminates the community, like in Instagram where I'm not replying to comments and shit and getting views. There's a lot more community over there. I got a lot smaller following. All that hate that came from fucking TikTok, now I got a community that's pretty decent, but a lot of it's just waiting for me to do something so they can fucking pounce on it and be like, "Oh,
I mean, that's gonna happen. If you're in the spotlight, that's just gonna happen. Regardless,
I don't wanna be in the spotlight
people.
anymore."
It's gonna be people. I said that the other day, bro. I ain't lying. I was like, bro, I don't want to be famous. Like, I don't
No,
want to be famous.
I just wanna talk, dude. I don't want people picking on
Hey,
me.
I don't want the whole world to be like listening.
Like, you post one that I posted one the other day. Actually, it was probably a few weeks ago now, and you couldn't even see, like, anything where it would be squared up off of except for the existing tile, which was full tile right off of it. And the dude goes, "It's not square." I'm like, "What? How did you even know, dude?" Like, or do you just come out of nowhere and just start typing random shit?
Dog,
And
I had plenty of people do that to be like, "Oh man, it's not leveled over there." Like, are you serious? Are you serious?
like, is your shit in 5K? Because I couldn't
I'm
see
about
that
to
in
say,
my
bro. I
house.
know the picture blurry on my phone. How you see it better than me?
And that's why I want to make some shirts, right? And one of my favorite ones. I mean, it's kind of a hack saying, but it's looks good for my house. You know,
I
everyone
want
wants
look. I
social.
need a shirt that say, "Social media is not real."
Dude, it ain't real. It's not real. You want to talk? We want to lose. You want to start getting into some touchy subjects. I'll talk about what's real. I lose the concept of reality on a daily basis, probably
Look,
because of social media. Fuck.
and you know what's crazy? You'll probably go viral. And you just start talking about that, and people be like, "Oh hell yeah, I love this content."
Oh, dude.
Now you
Yeah, I'll get some episodes going on about the fifth dimension and shit like that, and they'll be like,
not
dude,
the toes,
yeah,
not the toes.
this motherfucker been smoking crack. I ain't been smoking crack.
Oh look, you gotta get Mike Tyson on the show so he could tell about his DMT experience.
You ever done DMT? Oof,
Hell
those are
no,
some good, dude.
hell
Those are
no.
good
Look,
experiences.
this is one thing I will say. I have never. I done dabbled with some stuff, hallucinogens. I'm scared of because I'm like, bro, if I see anything in this room that's not here, I'm gonna die. Like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah. Hey, I was just talking to my help today. I'm like, dude, after hearing all this shit, or maybe it was yesterday, after hearing all this shit that I had to get off my chest, how much of this is you think is caused by all the acid I ate? And he's like, most of it. I'm like, damn, for real? He's like, yeah, I think about it sometimes too. I'm like, dude, what you wish you wouldn't have done?
Hey, look,
Some days I do though, because I mean, I've hallucinated some crazy things, man, and
bro,
I'll share
that's so
some of those
scary to me.
stories in the future.
That
But,
is so scary to me.
I mean, to me, I was always looking for it, you know what I mean? I wanted to see some crazy shit in front of me that wasn't real, like almost like a
Like a
hologram,
cartoon or
like you
something?
wanna. Huh?
Like a
Me?
cartoon?
The cartel?
You know what I'm saying? No, the cartoon. Like you was expecting like you wanted to see like a cartoon or something.
I wanted to see if anything was being lied if I was being lied to, you know what I mean? Like, 'cause you always hear things, right? Like, "Oh, it brings down the veil," or, um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
"You see this and that," and some people would say some stupid shit like, "Yeah, I saw elephants coming down," and I'm like, "Oh, bullshit, you didn't see nothing like that, man." And so at, like, 15 or 16, I ate acid for the first time on these cliffs, actually, not too far from my house right here,
Why people
and,
always do that shit in nature? Like you don't be scared that you're gonna just walk off the cliff because it
dude,
ain't
yeah,
real.
I was really scared. I was really fucking scared that I was gonna walk off that cliff, and my other homies, though, they were, like, 2 years older than me, they all seemed like gurus at this shit at this point. I'm like, "Y'all gonna keep me safe, right?" They're like, "Oh, we only give you a little bit," I'm like, "A little bit of what?" And my mind, and I was curious after that, and I've done countless amounts of them. Like, the Joe Rogan Experience is probably what we would be getting into after I start opening these doors, because the DMT shit, they're
Yeah,
not playing, that shit's crazy, dude,
I can
but,
imagine. See, and the reason why I said I was always scared of that kind of stuff is my thought process is it's not gonna be by chance. Like you'll see what's in your mind. I was always
mhm,
scared to be like, dog, I don't know if I want to see some of that stuff, like these experiences from a kid. Like, but I don't want to trip and see some of
mm.
that. Like,
No,
cause
I agree.
people be talking about elephants. I might see somebody with a machine gun or something. I don't want to see that. Like,
No, and there is people that I know who have seen shit like that, so it's like you totally gotta be kinda conditioned to do things like that before you get there. You gotta idolize them, almost, and that's kinda poor to say that I did, but I definitely did, I was
yeah,
a hippie or whatever the fuck I was supposed to be, but, uh, to back up your valid I mean, that's a valid fucking fear to have. I mean, dude, I doubt my reality now because of the things that I've done. Straight up.
that's what I
I've
always
talked to
hear
my
when
helper
people say
about it.
like they're just like, man, you know what? This this ain't real because I saw what was really real.
Right,
And
and that could not be real, you know what I mean? So it's like, but when you share the experience, like my helper, me and him go back. He's actually an old homie of mine, my new helper, and he's sober, same amount of time as me, 14 months sober. Uh, but I mean, there we got stories. I mean, I'll share one right now. One night, me and my brother actually, we're just a couple of years apart in age. They were having a house party. They lived 2 blocks down from no, 2 houses down from me. So I was just started drinking again after, we started this business. I'm partying all the time, and I walk down there, and George is his name. He's my help now. He's down there, and me and him decide we're gonna go to the city actually and get some acid.
wait. Before you finish the story, and this is
Yeah.
only professionally thinking. Don't tell any of George's business if you haven't cleared it
No,
with.
no, he's cool with it, and,
Okay, okay.
well, uh, yeah, I mean, like, me and him, well, we're gonna is like, we go out, we both drop these doses, we both lose our mind. The story ends up, because I wanna kinda keep it vague,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
car ended up getting peed in by somebody, brand new car, got peed in by somebody. I don't know how many beers got dumped out in the back of it. I let a complete stranger from Oregon drive us because me and him didn't know how to
Where you
drive.
was
We
at?
lost our mind. We were incapable of doing anything. We had no motor skills. Uh, I wake up in the morning, dude. We'll just leave it at that. That's how crazy it got. I wake up in the morning, I find pee and massive amounts of beer dumped out in the back of my brand new car, and you can
Oh,
only imagine
your car?
how my
This
wife
your car?
my car, yeah, my wife's car, dude. My wife's car, dude. I'm not even
Oh
dude, it's
man, I thought you
heavy,
were
dude.
talking about somebody else's car.
No, dude, my wife's car. She about left me over that one. But
I,
yeah,
bro,
it
I mean,
used to get wild, dude.
I got party stories, but they don't sound too far off from that. And we never did acid, so I
Dude,
don't really know which is. I think mine is worse. I think mine
I
is
agree.
worse.
I wish I'd have kept it to just maybe smoking some weed and drinking, 'cause, some days I'm like, "Am I tripping?
Am I
Or
tripping?
am I tripping, or is this real life?" 'Cause this shit right here even is crazy. Like, I'm on the computer right now talking about random ass shit with, an individual in Louisiana on Facebook Live on my podcast. I'm a nobody. I got a podcast and shit. Like, what the fuck? It's like that's I might be hallucinating. That's kinda how my
I
day is
got it.
starting
So
to
you at any moment you can be like, this might not be reality.
Yeah, it's because like, where I came from, like, sometimes I still feel 16, you know? It hadn't been that long ago, fuck, 12 years ago, I was 16. So, it's like
That's crazy.
yeah, it's like I just started driving, and then I just started growing up. I was in prison at 19, so it's like I was out of prison and out of trouble by 22, and now I'm 28, so it's really only been, like, 6 years of my life, and I was, like grew up with my both parents drug addicts, uh, like, I was like I said, just got out of prison at 20 years old, like this doesn't seem real sometimes, like, I'm a pretty well-known tile installer that gets
So let
paid.
me ask you this. It doesn't seem real because you feel like it's too good to be true.
Yeah, nobody would've like, my homies aren't like, "Dude, I would've always thought you're gonna be a podcaster." They're like, "Dude, we thought you were gonna go back to jail." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I know, this is kinda crazy, isn't it? This is definitely not real."
But you
But
know what? Damn, bro. I don't know if I know. All right, we're about to go through the story. Okay. About to take you to the story because I was about to tell you, I was about to skip to the end of the story and be like, man, I learned this in rehab. So I gotta go way back. Gotta
let's
go
hear
way
it.
back. So in high school, just in middle school, I'm gonna say in middle school, I'm a big hip hop fan, rap artist. I'm always listening to these rap artists. I had made my mind a long time ago. The chance that I get to smoke some weed, I'ma smoke it. In middle
Right.
school, this is mentally where I'm at. Like, I, I don't know what the rest of the world's gonna be doing. But if you put it in front of me, I'm gonna light it on fire and I'm gonna figure it out. High school, I got my first opportunity in ninth grade. This is in ninth grade. From the first day, like that first day, it was one of my partners from middle school. Damn, rest in peace because he's not here anymore. We was out in the quad one day before school, and he just asked in a group. We all, a gang of us. We was magnet school. We smart kids. Have our little fun, do whatever. But he was just like, anybody want to go smoke in the bleachers? Everybody thought he was playing. I thought he was playing. I was just like, not gonna pass it up, just in case you're not playing. So I was like, I do, I do. And we went back there and smoked. I didn't know what I was doing. Didn't know what I was doing. I was just so happy to have a smell on me. I was just like, this is enough for me.
Right.
This is enough for me. It did not stop from that day. Like every day after that, it ain't never stopped. It took me a couple of days to figure out what the hell I was doing, but from that day, for me finding out I could get some, it was game time for years. This was from high school up until a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I thought we had talked about that a little bit on your show a little bit. You
Yeah,
kinda
couple of years ago.
vaguely said something about that, yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely said something about it, but they're about to get the story now. So smoked forever. I smoked all through college. Once I got out, I decided that I wasn't gonna finish with college. I went into the plants. I had to stop smoking because we had to take drug tests. Then I found out about the synthetic marijuana. It was really
Mhm.
clean in the beginning. Then it just
Right,
got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. My love for smoking wouldn't let me stop as it progressively got worse.
right,
Which landed me in jail a couple of times and landed me in rehab, like inpatient rehab. The best
right,
thing ever for my life, ever. Because it was the only time I was able to not smoke for consecutive days and finally say, I'm finished. Like, I'm done. I don't want to do this no more. Like, I do
right,
it, but I can't have a choice. But I don't want to do this no more. But it was rehab that, like, let me see that it's like, bro, life is no different. But I ain't trying. I didn't have any acid in it or anything like that, so life was still playing for me.
right,
But life is no different when I'm not high. My problem is still my problems. They're still the same results. Like it don't change nothing.
right,
So then it was like role reversal. It was from then it was just like, oh, I see that I'm in control. Like, it's not nothing else. It's not the drugs. I'm in control.
right,
And it took rehab to do that. But what I found out in rehab, all of the other people, I don't remember how many people it was, all of the other people that's like us, they got that like addiction, whatever it is,
right,
they produce greatness.
right,
Like something up here, that experience allows you to go so far artistically that like you put your mind to something, it's just like I can visualize it, I can do it.
right,
Other people don't have that experience. They ain't tapped into that part of their brain. They're just like, I can't. You know how people will be like, I can't visualize it. Like, really? Like, you can't force your mind to just like make it. The people can't see it,
right,
but it's people that have had experiences like us that can see it. And then you got two sides of it. Of people are saying, but like, oh, you're a special person. And then they find out, oh, that's a result of drugs. Oh, you're a bad person. Like, I'm the same person.
right,
But
right,
I'm the same person. If anything, there was a slight plus side to this.
right.
I learned how to control it. I kind of like worked out my brain more than you did.
Right. Yeah, when you gotta turn and look at yourself, because most people don't realize that, well, we may be just a little bit, obsessive type of person, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
So, and other people are obsessive too, but it's just more of a mellow obsession, they'll drink a Dr. Pepper or a Mountain Dew or drink or eat some, chocolate or
Yeah.
something else where I'm hyper fixated on, eating clean food as much as possible, but trust me when I say that when I wanna feel different, like, all the time, that I can do anything feeling different, you know what I mean? I can be healthy and drink massive amounts of alcohol, you know what I mean? Because that makes me feel different as to where you'll just eat, you'll be unhealthy and eat massive amounts of fucking chocolate and drink massive amounts of soda to kinda cope with it. We're just like, you feel better with the act. I just like to fucking master feeling, and that's kinda how I had to do it with myself, is I knew that, being an alcoholic, like, I had to come to terms with the fact that I just like feeling different because I don't really know how to understand the way I do feel right now, and it comes down to, like, past traumas and shit like that, but so I had to turn around and look at myself, and dig a little deeper into my brain and then the reason why I respond to things, like, short with people. You know how many customers I gotta deal with that are 50 years old that act like I did 2 years ago, and I'm 28? Because they don't have to look at themselves like I had to through all the shit that I went through, and it's like, man, that's why the psychology thing kicks in so hard. I gotta deal with ignorant people, and then I could deal with the most kind-hearted people, and then I get to deal with the straight, my help, who came from the same gutter that I came from, the same trenches that I came from, so I get it from all different areas. Yeah, yeah, we being where we came from, we got to look deeper into ourselves, and being where we go every day, we get to look deeper into others, and it's kind of a blessing for real. We're like
It always turns like that. Once you overcome it and can see the truth of it, then it's just like I have more uh I got more resources now because it's like, dude, I can see it on both sides.
right,
I can see the ugly of it and I can see the beauty of it because I'm forced to do that now. At one
right,
point in my life, all I could see was the ugly.
and
And ugly
it'll put
pushed me into seeing the beauty in things. And now it's just like, oh, I can see both sides of it. Some people,
right.
they ain't had the experience to be able to see both sides of it. It's just one way or the other.
And a lot of people don't get to see, like, say you have some consequences from those behaviors, you get put in some pretty diverse places, if I don't know, the county jail and is more of a melting pot than the courthouse,
Right.
or your school meeting,
Right.
the prison system.
Depending on the location.
Yeah, well, maybe so, yeah, maybe so, yeah, but, you really are forced to get to know people that think way different than you and, different kind of humility whenever you go to places like that, so you
Or even if it's not just personality, you gotta learn to it's a different level of survival. Like you gotta be able to look at um how I say something in this setting could cost me my life. Like I remember when I went to jail the first time, I was tripped out because it's my first time. But we in this, I don't even know what the hell this room was. It had to be like the introduction to the possibility of the rest of your life. Because
yeah,
they
yeah,
showed a video. We all sitting on these little metal benches. They showed a video, and in the video they talking about how um, if somebody put a piece of candy on your bed, not to like not to accept it. And I'm thinking, oh, we're in jail. We're in jail. It's not prison. Why are you
right,
sure? Is y'all do this in here? Like that's what's going on back there? What y'all about to see me? That
yeah, I
people
ain't trying to
doing
go
this
there.
candy trick in jail? Like, don't you go home in a short period of time? Like, it's not prison. Like, it's not supposed to be the rest of y'all. That's what y'all doing in jail.
Mhm,
So it's those type of experiences that are just like A video like that, going back there, makes you now say, I gotta carry myself a little different. What I might have said outside, I'm not gonna say it in here because it's a different place.
Right,
You
and, you
got people
know
that don't have those experiences that think that, oh man, I can say what I want because they don't have no consequences. When you know that I could have got my throat cut today.
like, once you recognize too that, like, the way you behave in an environment is a total impact on the way that you're going to, is 100% the outcome that you're gonna have. You start watching very early on, like, how you do everything that you do just so you don't make a mistake.
Yeah,
You take that shit into doing what we do, and, I mean, you already got, like, a one hand up on everybody else because you're already hyper observing everything.
everything.
Everything. So, like, the job usually don't get you don't usually skip a beat once you come into business like that because the customer is really just as ferocious and fierce as dude in the corner with the shank or whatever. I've never ran into that situation, but that's what
I
you
haven't either, but your mind will play that in your head to think that, oh, this is a possibility, even if you
right.
don't
And
experience
like when that customer came in this week and that floor was fucking wrong direction, I'd be damned if it didn't feel like she stabbed me
it.
in the
He's
back.
got
If
a
somebody didn't
shake
stab
away.
me in the fucking back, I'm like, "Dude, I'm doing this now. I'm gonna be doing something for free."
Right.
Now this hurts. So it's like, yeah, I gotta learn how to avoid, her stabbing me in the face after she just stabbed me in the back. So I gotta stand up and say, "I'm sorry." When I was in DOC, I only did 6 months one time. It don't take much for me to understand that that ain't a place for me.
Shit,
But,
it took 4
they
days.
tell you if you wearing slip-on shoes, they tell you your shoes are untied. Like, you have no choice but to respond to everything, whether it's true or not, with "Thank you, sir, I'll get right on top of that." So you learn how to give a proper response, no matter what the
Instead of
situation.
a personal response.
Right, and that's kind of like how I learned how to look at the customer and go, even sometimes I don't even still today because 'cause it's been a while, but yeah, thank you. We'll get right on top of that instead of, "No, fuck you." You know what I mean? So,
And
like you
that's the
said.
part that I like. I don't think many people understand that. Because again, it comes across as, oh man, you did these things that got you in trouble. You not the best person. Instead of looking at it from, damn dog, what happened in your life that made you make these decisions?
Right,
But even for us, after going through these experiences, I had to explain this to my wife like a couple of weeks ago. It's like, man, just like I told you before the show, it's like every day I live my life, the stuff that people see on social media, the ambitious, the motivated, the driven person they see on social media, is because I don't want to be that dude that I was.
right,
Like I'm running from this person
for sure.
every day because I still at times feel like a loser. Like, damn, dog, you did that. Like that was you. Like that was your life. Like ain't nobody else. That was you.
Right.
To
No,
where that's why I was telling you to be like, bro, the 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 devil will use their past and keep throwing it in your face. Be like, hey, you remember? I don't care how good you did today, but you remember you was a loser a couple years ago. That's still
dude,
that loser didn't go anywhere. He's still in there.
yeah, I tell you what, it hits harder other days than others, than
There's
some. It's
some
like,
days that you listen and be like, yeah, I am. Like
and
I
I'm
kind
like, "Damn, I'm a fucking loser," and
I
then
just
some days
I
you
don't
get
really
pissed.
want to do nothing good today because that's not who I am. Like let me just go sit in this feeling right now because I don't feel like doing nothing. Like,
Man, that sounds like me yesterday. I only worked about a half a day because I was all up in my shit, for real. And it's all insecurity, though, that's what it comes down to, man. I think we got a war on insecurity, to be honest. That's
that's
kind of
all day, every day. It's constant. It's nonstop. There is two sides that's saying, hey, do this good thing, and the other one is just like, you could do that, but even if you do it, you still gonna be that person that you was back then. So it don't really matter.
right.
But
Like
go
you
ahead,
said
do it.
before, it's tricky, insecurity is tricky, intention is tricky, self-centeredness is usually hard to spot, but, like, you try to do something, or you say something to somebody, you think that you're trying to help them, but really it's your own self-centeredness that's feeling like you gotta do something. You know what I mean? And it's like it can be so easily misconstrued, the 2, you know what I
Yep.
mean? Sometimes it becomes hard to balance and hard to recognize, like, your ego can definitely sneak up in those
And that's
situations
that's
and
why that's why I say that alone time is like important because you're able to see yourself for your truth and then not like rattle you. That alone time is just like I need to get away from people so
True.
I don't potentially do this again. Let me do this alone. Just unravel everything. It's probably gonna be ugly when I go back into interaction with people. I'm not carrying this weight of I got to get this out of me
Right,
in whatever form that is. Because sometimes uh, people will try to ask you to be like, let's say if you wanted to have a drink, not telling you to, but let's say the person has mastered that. We know in rehab they're gonna tell you that it's impossible. They do that because they don't want you to go back into it. But there are people out there that are like, no, I can control this. Let's say that they did it and it was not a problem. The people outside looking in that are able to see your past and see that you had a drink will be like, oh my God, how could you do something like that? They'll be like, dude,
right.
what are you talking about? Like, this is actually helping me right now because you didn't see a second ago when I was about to lose it and punch you in the face.
Right.
All you see is I'm having a drink and I'm being calm and I'm not bothering anybody. And you think that I'm internally falling apart. No, that moment has passed because it
Right,
could have been you. I could have took this out on you
right.
and I would have did it in a really good way that it made you feel just how I feel. But I'm not
You
doing
you know, I wonder how much at times that those thoughts that other people have about us, how much those actually manifest our realities. You know what I mean? How many negative or how much can you watch my back before I actually need my back watched? You know what I mean? Like how much could you think on my behalf before I need somebody to? You know what I mean? Like are you go can somebody manifest an issue in your life? I used to think about that all the time when I was younger. Like, am I
I,
really an alcoholic because they keep telling me I'm going to be one? You know what I mean?
it
So
only happens. It only happens. They can't do it. They can plant the seed all day. They can't make it happen. It only happens when you finally accept and say, yep, you know what? There's no way around it. I might as well stop fighting it. I am an alcoholic. Let's go be an alcoholic. That is our responsibility. Nobody can put that on us. There's a lot of pressure that can be put on us, but at the end result, the decision is ours. You got people that can leave a situation and just be like, "No, I'm not doing. I don't care what it costs me. I'm not doing this to me."
right.
And they'll look like the bad guy, but they've protected themselves. Sometimes we allow people to do stuff, but then in the end, the decision is ours, and you can't. Like, there's no way around it. You can't make it nobody else's. As much as
Yeah.
they influence, like you can't make it nobody else's. Now they're wrong for influencing, but at the end, it's our decision.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do this next episode maybe on a little bit of the background of why I choose sobriety and a little bit of my background on that because I totally relate with how you were saying, like, you had that idea fixated in your mind, like, at a young age about how you was gonna do it, and that's kinda gonna be
I
part of
have
your identity.
up.
Dude, I still struggle with that because beer, weed, obviously, I do smoke medical marijuana. Most people are pretty aware of that. I'm open about it, so I don't get caught up somewhere where they don't want me to do it, because I'm doing it usually everywhere I go. But the sobriety as far as alcohol, how that came about and, like, how it's still in my head about how it's almost like a human right to be able to drink alcohol and control it, um, started at a really young age, like, and I still struggle with it. I'm like, "Man, there's beer commercials everywhere. There's not, like, weed commercials everywhere." So it's like, they're coming though, they're going to be eventually. It's like, So people are gonna have the same issue that I had with alcohol, with marijuana, because it's going to eventually be so socially acceptable that they're gonna think it's gonna make them who they wanna be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right now, it just keeps me from drinking alcohol. It's like a crutch, basically. You know what I
And
mean? I
see, and
can
that's the
admit that.
difference. That's why I say that's the difference of somebody that has flipped the script. The substance doesn't control me anymore. I'm not doing it as a solution for life. I'm doing it as an option for some things in life. This is
Right,
not the end all tell all, because at one point in life it was just like, if I'm happy, I smoke. If I'm sad, I smoke. If I'm angry, I smoke. If I need to come up with an idea, I smoke. If I hit my toe on the corner of the bed, I smoke.
right,
It was for everything. That's when you don't have control of the substance. If
right,
you control a substance in your mind, it's not going to be physical in your mind. If you make the decision that I don't do this as a solution for my problems, because it's
right.
not a solution for my problems. It's just something
But
that I do.
I guess what I was kinda saying too with the alcohol thing later is, like, most people will just kinda speak over your life from a young age that you'll have 0 self-control. You know what I mean? Like, you'll never be able to control yourself enough to go there. You'll never be able to control yourself enough to do this. You too much like your dad, too much like your mom. You know, so, like,
And
those
those people are no different from that person that comes out in the Home Depot situation, because
right,
all they're doing is projecting.
right.
As we acknowledged earlier, all of it, they don't have nothing to do with you. It's just me getting this out of me. So it's just
You know, what I love about you ever watch Gary Vee
yeah,
stuff, like his clips? He's always talking about how he finds the humility and understanding that he sees it, but they don't. You know what I mean? Like, those people, there's nothing wrong with them trying to hold you back. Somebody tried to hold them back or did.
yeah, they don't know it well.
So I forget about that now that I'm thinking about it. I'm like, "Man, that's kind of a good way to remember, like, they're not conscious of it yet, you know, and the person who
They're
held
not
them
woke
back,
yet. They're not
it
as
just
woke as you are.
right, it's contagious. It's you know, it wasn't their fault, you know, it's a curse to an extent that we all
It's human nature, honestly. Like, it's human nature. You do what you're taught until you learn otherwise. Like,
right,
it's not that you're a bad person. That's all you know. Like,
right,
that's
right,
all you know. I can't expect nothing else from you, because you don't know nothing else.
right,
Even if I
right.
disagree with it, like, I could say that's wrong, but it's like, damn, I can't be mad because you don't have another option. Like, you don't have any other option.
Shit, it's been about an hour now. I think we're
I
at
want to
work.
keep them short. I think we got excited talking about
That's okay.
drugs.
I gotta get used to it. I gotta see how it works. I think that this gave me a good idea of how the quality is. It's poor on my side. I don't know if you can see it on yours.
What is it?
Here and there, it gets a little bit poor, just on your stream, and I don't know how it looks vice versa, so
That's probably because I'm on the laptop
okay.
camera, and I don't
Well,
know
it
why
looks
Apple
good. A
decided to
couple
make
of times it had lagged on me, so I don't know if that's my internet or if it's your camera or what, so I'll probably hit you up on Messenger, and, if you wanna let these dudes know, anything about you, go ahead, and we'll shut this thing down, and I'll reach out to you and tighten up all the loose ends.
All right. Since y'all know all of my stories, I ask that y'all don't judge me. But even if you do, I don't care, because it's the truth and I can't change it. So, nah, but really, I'm Anthony Moses. I'm the owner of Simple Intricate Designs. Um, I just recently got certified in CTI
Woo-woo.
1731, baby. I got
Yeah,
that.
that's
Um,
what's up.
I'm the host of the Floor Master Podcast. My podcast is about bridging the gap between homeowners and contractors, because these two parties uh, have misconceptions about one another, and I want to make them friends again. Um,
Right.
but I'm all about educating, having fun, and just living life to the fullest, man. People leave this earth all the time without ever getting a chance to do what they want to do. So I think it's important for us to remember that as much time as you're going to invest in other people, find some time for yourself. Like,
Real talk.
even if nothing comes of it, financially, physically, or whatever, if other people are worthy of your everything, you should probably give yourself some. You find out how that is, but give yourself something. Life's too hard and it's too short to be working your ass off for other people all day, every day.
Right,
So,
and not make yourself feel special, you know? You gotta make
find whatever that is. Whatever that is that makes you feel good, do that for yourself sometimes.
For sure, for sure.
And just don't let it get out of control.
That's the hard part.
Let me add that to it. Do what makes you feel good, but keep handling your business.
That's right. I like that. Alright, man, well, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna let you go. Everybody, thanks for watching. Cut me some slack. This was my first show. Appreciate it. See, there's a couple of you hanging on.
We ain't asking for no slack. We ain't asking for no slack. It was perfect.
I was like, all right, go in on me.
What they say, it was perfect.
It was, hey, it probably was perfect. I do fuck around and do shit like that. I do drop perfect bombs everywhere. Bam, bam, bam. Perfection everywhere. All right, I'm out of here. Let's see if I can exit on a little bit of a beat. All right, later, Anthony. I appreciate you, bro. I'm out.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp, really trying to get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent, because a whole lot of bitches talking shit.